Hey everyone, I just want to do a quick video here to go over a few points that the community has been a bit concerned about in regards to PML. Now, if there's two things that I want you to take away from this video, just two, it's as Joe said, don't put your heart in the charts and do the math. So let me go ahead and show you what I'm talking about. I'll go ahead and share my screen. Okay, so we can see here that right now PML is holding at around 128,000. Right now the price is in fact actually $128,242.56. Now, knowing where we've been before, that may look a bit concerning for you, but knowing where we've been before is part of the key to not being too concerned about that. Because if you look at the charts, you can see that this current point right here really doesn't tell much of a story. It tells exactly how much the token is right at this moment, and it doesn't really tell you much more than that. If you scroll down to the current transactions, you can see that right now it looks like the sellers are winning a bit, but if you look through, let me move this up. If you look through the transactions, you can see that we've had far more buys than sells. And indeed, there have been a lot of days where we've fully overtaken the sellers in as far as the amount of buys and the actual dollar value of those buys go. So if you see something like this and you look worried for the price of PML, don't, because this right here only tells part of the story. There's quite a lot that this just doesn't tell you. And we've gone over that before in the co-founders meetings. So if you haven't watched any of the most recent co-founders meetings, then I'd absolutely recommend that you watch those as well, because that'll help you get a full breath insofar as what I'm talking about here. That's a bit outside the scope of this quick video because I want to demonstrate a couple things, but yeah. All right, so the next thing I'm going to show is that you really should be doing the math insofar as both your PML purchases go and what you get from the lending platform. And I'm going to show you what that looks like insofar as the lending platform goes. All right, now I'm going to use a special offer in the lending system where I can get two guaranteed loan offers that get automatically guaranteed and paid off basically the second I put them in. Now, there are two ways to get access to this particular offer. The first is number one, to have over $6,000 worth of PML. We can see that right now I meet that requirement. And the second way to get access to that particular offer is to be a whale. And I'm a whale, so I definitely meet that criteria as well. Either of those will do just fine. I just happen to meet both of them right now. So we'll go ahead and go over to the lending tab. And I'm going to go ahead and turn my camera off because this is going to require my camera. And some folks have also been curious as to how they create a loan offer. What you need is you need at least $50 worth of PML for each loan offer you want to create. So assuming you have that, we can go ahead and click approve loan offer. And what that's going to do is then MetaMask will pop up with a SpanCap request. Essentially, what this is you authorizing the smart contracts that controls most everything that has to do with pool microlending to take some PML out of your wallet because it needs to do that to create the loan offer. We can see the Spain cap request here. We can see the amounts. Everything looks normal here, so we can go ahead and click confirm. All right, and now there's a second step you have to do to actually create the loan offer. We'll go ahead and click continue create offer. And then you'll have a picture image show up requiring you to take a photo of yourself before you can move forward. This is our way of trying to prevent any sort of scammers or anyone with multiple accounts that are trying to game the system or anything of the sort. So I'll go ahead and take my photo. And as usual, it doesn't really look that good, but that's not the point. So I'll go ahead and hit continue. And then MetaMask will pop up with a transaction request. You may see a review alert warning here. You can go ahead and click that. Check the spots. Click got it. Check the spots and confirm. All right, transaction confirmed. And the reason why you see that over in MetaMask is because oftentimes MetaMask likes to err on the side of trying to protect the user when anything involving a smart contract is concerned. Because in the cases of several types of smart contracts, ours included, they can take funds from your wallets. Like, for example, remember that Spain cap request that we approved during the first step? That was basically us approving the smart contracts to take PML out of our wallets because we had to give it permission to do so. It cannot do that without our say so. But if you're a crypto newbie, then it might look to you like your funds have been stolen, that someone's taken money out of your wallet. So MetaMask tries to err on the side of caution to try to protect users. In some cases, this is completely fine and actually a pretty good security feature. But in our case, it does create another step to go through because as we've seen, all the smart contracts that we use in the community are ultimately quite beneficial to the user. So that's the reason why that happens. Don't be too alarmed by it. It's just a matter of MetaMask being overprotective. All right, so that was my first loan offer done. And what happens now is the system will refresh. And probably I'm seeing this error because we spent so much time talking about this. So I'll go ahead and refresh. And there we go, back to normal. Now, as I said before, I can actually create 2 loan offers per day. So I'm going to go ahead and create my second one. I'll confirm the Spain cap request. I'll continue creating the offer and take my picture. Cheese. uh, all right, I'll go ahead and hit continue. Review alert. Check these boxes. And once you start to get used to it, this really takes under like a minute or so. I'm obviously taking longer because I'm discussing this a bit, but it's definitely doesn't take any time at all. It probably hasn't taken much time, even though I've been talking all this much. I'll have to go back and review the video for that. Okay, so now if we go to the bottom of my offers list, we can see that my 2 offers that were created today, just a few minutes apart from each other, have already been guaranteed and automatically picked up and paid back by the guarantee system. So I'm going to go over to my wallet addresses entry on BSC scan, and we can see what that looks like. I'll go ahead and refresh so we can see the most recent entries. All right, so we can see that I put in about $50 worth of PML That's about $50 worth right now. And I got $100 worth back. And I did that twice. So ultimately, my two lending offers that were picked up have netted me $100 worth of PML, roughly. And there's a way that you can actually do the math on that as well. So I'll go ahead and copy the amounts from one of the paybacks here, because this should be roughly around $100 worth. Control C. And now I'll go over to my tooling. And this is a new token value calculator that I showed off just a tad on the last co-founders meeting. Now, this isn't entirely ready for prime time yet. It's about, well, I'd say about 9% ready. I got a bit of a quote of polish on it, basically, but it's stable enough for me to show off what it does. So what I'll do is, well, first turn my camera back on so y'all can see me. First, what I'll do is I'll go to the token amount section and paste in the amount that I got from the last loan offer. All right, there we go. And then we have price. Now I had said that current price. We'll come back later and show what happens when I select price targets. But what we want to do right now is we want to put in the current price of PML. Now, we can, of course, do that manually by going to the chart over here that I just happen to have open. But if we go back to my tooling and we scroll up just a bit, we can see that I also have the buttons here that are essentially links that go to the various 8-space listings for tokens. So for this example, I would probably click on PML. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and do that just so we can see that it works. And it does. And PML is, yep, the price hasn't changed. So you can go back and enter this in manually, or you can copy it. I'll go ahead and copy it. And we'll go ahead and put that in the price USD section. Then I'll go ahead and click the calculate button. Estimated value 9930. That's roughly right. I believe that the system uses the V2 version of the contract in order to calculate the $100 worth insofar as the actual value goes. So there's a bit of discrepancy there insofar as what Pool Microlending uses on the back end, but this is essentially right. But this ultimately isn't what I want to talk about. Now, this is roughly $100 worth, but if we take the amounts that I got from that last loan pickup again, and first what we want to do is we'll go ahead and click reset to reset the system, and then we'll go ahead and click on the price target manual button to switch it to price target mode. And what that'll do now is it'll show you the several more radio buttons that allow you to select the token that you would like to input the price target for. Now, these will be fixed values for each of our price targets for these tokens. So, for example, if we click PFI, that'll automatically fill in the price target for our PFI. That's 500,000. Similar story for PFB with 1 million. PFS is 2 million. PFG is 4 million. And PML, the subject of our focus, is 2 million. So with that, I'll go ahead and paste that amount back in. Oh, it would help if I still had it on the clipboard. Right, so I'll go ahead and delete that and paste that amount back in. Then I'll click the calculate button and we can see that the value of this amount of our token at our price target is $1,548. So ultimately, what I got right now is $100. But if you look at where we're going, which is where I'm looking at, actually what just happened is I just made over $1,500 in a matter of a couple minutes. And I was talking for about half that time. So $1,500 a day for a matter of a couple minutes work. And you granted you could hardly call it work, but hey, your fingers get a workout, and that's a pretty good idea for just about all of us. And for any of you out there that have used a ThinkPad and its mouse it has, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So the the idea here is clear. Do the math and don't put your heart into the charts. And in fact, I've done the math for you, so you don't really even have to. The formula is price target or price times the amount of token that you're wanting to calculate. That's how I made that calculator, and that's exactly what that calculator does. So with that, I think that just about covers everything that I want to go over in this video. I'll have a Crypto Cove call later on in the evening where I'll be going over a broader look at all the changes that I've made to my tooling over the past while, as well as a Q&A. So make sure you make sure you get to that call as well. So with that, I'll go ahead and stop the recording.